wild band.
That song is so theatrical in the coolest way. It's like they're using a string section like a rock guitar, which is such a unique sound. I've never heard anything like that before.
Dude, they're one of my favorites of all time. I actually just caught them on tour for, I think it was the 15-year reunion of that album, and a couple of years ago. And it was one of the best live shows I have ever seen in my life. I drove 12 hours to see it. And I was like, man, this was so worth it. It was worth every single penny.
So do they do a lot of like orchestral kind of stuff fairly regularly? Or is this kind of a different thing?
Their albums are all completely different, but this one is The Ugly Organ, has tons of organs and cello on it. And then they have one other album like that called Happy Hollow, which also is very, very theatrical. But they love to do like concept stuff, basically.
Yeah.
And you know, this was about how the art was hard and everything. Happy Hollow is all about like his like struggle with religion. Like everything they do has
concept
like some
albums.
Different
kind.
Yeah, and it is just all so good. It's so good.
I can't imagine seeing this album live because it feels like it would have so many like moving parts, because you would have to bring some, I mean, you could obviously do it with backing tracks, but I think like to really do it justice, you would have to bring like an orchestra and a giant organ and all of that on tour, which is a crazy thing to do, but if they did it, then that is like my favorite thing.
And it's so funny, that girl who plays the cello on this album had not been in the band for a decade, and they literally were like, hey, we want you to come back on the road with us, play our cello. We want our organ player to come on the road and play the organ live and everything.
So
and
it's the original people from the album too that are touring for it.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It was so cool. It was unbelievable. It felt like a dream watching it happen live.
Yeah, that's definitely like before my era of like really paying attention to music. But I always love when people bring out some of the like classics from their formative years for this. Like that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's honestly, be ready, because that's what a lot of mine is.
All right, awesome. So my next song is another one that I actually had somebody submit directly to me, and it was a message on Instagram. Apparently I had already been following this person. I don't know if I had like seen a post of theirs that I liked, or honestly for a while I was kind of just following random people who followed the artists that I was featuring, because I was like, well, if I follow them and I have something that has to do with something that they like, then maybe they'll follow me back. And that was like a way of trying to get more people to pay attention to the podcast for the first season. And so it's possible that I followed them during that time. I don't really know. But they sent me a message talking about like, oh yeah, I'm looking to, you know, make some friends with the people that I'm following on here. Would you be interested in checking out my music? And so I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And it's really neat. I picked this one because I feel like you have a quite diverse musical taste, and so you'll probably appreciate this. But it's like
definitely
Appalachian folky bluegrass type of sound, and it's super cool.
I love that.
Yeah,
dude, Nickel Creek is one of my favorite bands, so trust me.
This song is called "A Shot for That" by No One from Nowhere.